Hebrews 2 verses 14 and 15. Therefore, since the children share in flesh and blood, he himself likewise also partook of the same, that through death he might render powerless him who had the power of death, that is the devil. Jesus rendered the devil powerless over you. Why? Because people go, oh, he's got powers. Oh, he could make a cup levitate, send an Islamist to murder me, whatever. No, he's powerless. Why? Because you're going to heaven. He has nothing on you anymore. Look at verse 15. And might free those who through fear of death were subject to slavery all their lives. The fear of death makes you a slave of violent extremists, slave of, LGBTQ agendas, slave of tyrannical governments. It's the fear of death that leads to your slavery. The best thing you can do as a Christian is recognize that you no longer have to fear death because Jesus defeated death and defeated Satan on your behalf. And when you really believe that, again, you can't lose. Why would people go and do pharmakia when the scriptures say that pharmakia is witchcraft? Literally, poisonous drugs, witchcraft, actual sin. It's listed as sin in the New Testament. Why would we do it? Fear of death. Fear of a disease, fear of death. The fear of death creates slavery. Jesus has set us free from the fear of death. You don't have to fear the Islamists, the pandemic, the tyrannical king. Why? Because all they have, their weapon is the fear of death. That's their weapon. And once you don't fear death anymore, you really are unstoppable. Nothing will be impossible for you. They have to kill you when you get to that place. Because like all the disciples, they just start changing the world too much because they don't fear death. What did Peter say? People don't recognize this is a big deal. High priest brings him in Acts 5, says, you got to stop preaching in the name of Jesus. He goes, we must obey God rather than human beings. In other words, we're going to keep preaching in Jesus' name. If you disobey the high priest in Jewish law, guess who can kill you? The high priest. He knew he was taking his life in his hands, and he said, nope, we must obey God rather than human beings. No more fear of death. Jesus has done that for you. So for the joy set before him, he endured violence. And now because he did it, you're saved and you don't have to fear death. That is a wonderful package deal.